We live. We live. We live right now. Today is Tuesday, July 8th, 2025. We're doing pretty good right now. Hope you're doing pretty good right now. I got an interesting take. I talked about this a little bit before, but what does Brisket, IPA beers, and Espresso have in common? Let's think about that for a little bit. Think about it. I think it's the extreme of mediums. I think it is concentrated flavors. I don't think it's necessarily something that you will have every day, but it's those mediums finest to the extreme of what you get out of whatever you're doing with that thing, right? The reason why I bring this up is because I don't know why. I thought those three combinations work really well together, either together or just in general of us talking about it right now. What I mean by that is that this past weekend, I smoked some brisket, and I used to smoke brisket all the time, and I don't. It's probably a couple times a year instead of every other week. But the reason why I bring that up is because now that I don't make it a lot, and when I do taste it, it's like rich. It's heavy. It's smoky. It's something that is quite delicious. But after a couple slices of brisket, I'm good to go for the next 3 to 4 months. This is just me. This is my observation that I have noticed with things in general when they're to the extreme. I think that's one of the reasons why. For instance, espresso. I don't do it as much. It's heavy, it's concentrated, it's intense. It's something that I crave from time to time, something I look forward to drinking. But when I have it, I'm done with it for a couple of weeks. Again, everybody's different. I think that's probably why I gravitate more towards pour over, is because the flavors are not crazy concentrated, and I can have so many different coffees and enjoy them for what they are every day, multiple times a day. Then there's beer. I don't really mess around with IPAs much. Sometimes when I'm doing non-alcoholic beers, I'll probably play around with an IPA, but it's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of jam. I don't really care for it. It doesn't do anything for me. But I do understand the logic why people like it. It's heavy. It's bitter. It's extreme. And all those concentrated flavors just rush your mouth. You're trying to decipher what it may be. Or you just like how big and bold it is. Those three things, and there's many more in life in general that I'm thinking about right now, that we have to realize what we're going to deal with those things. And in this case, in our case, coffee, right? I think it's important that we play around with the extremes of everything. Push our palates. Get us to a land of, like, why are we drinking this thing? Why do we like it? Beyond the noise of other people telling us what we may like, what we may not like. But the biggest thing, the biggest growth part, I think, in all this is that when we have things that are pushed in a way to where it's out of our comfort zone, I think that's where we really grow in this whole thing. And I don't know if you made that parallel too when it comes to like food products or things that are just a little bit more extreme or out of the norm. But in this case, that's kind of like where we're at right now. And as I think about espresso, as I think about how heavy and how hard it is to decipher exactly what you're drinking, but you know you're getting everything intense, like concentrated right in front of you, I start thinking about other things I do like about coffee. And I think that's why I gravitate so much to pour over, because it allows me to taste the coffee, to enjoy the coffee, to see it for what it truly really is. And when I do that, I can take everything with a grain of salt. And I think that's part of the conversation that I bring this up with the most, is that I think when we have these type of extremes, it creates balances in other things that we're doing or we like in that particular thing. Like, for instance, here's another one. Cold brew. I don't drink cold brew much. A couple times a year. Probably when somebody wants me to do a cold brew video. But I don't care for it. It's not my thing. But I do find joy in it to an extent, because it is different. It's something I don't like participate in quite a bit. And when I do, I see different layers of coffee that I haven't really seen in my pour over game. So everything gets back to the common thing that I do most of the time. And I'm sure you're probably the same way, to where it's like, wow, I never really thought about it that way. Because when we're so like focused on the day to day, we tend to not get out of our realm of other things that we're trying to do in this whole thing, right? So that's kind of like where I'm getting at. It's like it creates some type of sense of balance in the way that we choose our hobbies, go about our hobbies, explore, and see things for what it is. And I think that's pretty cool. Same thing with the IPA. The IPA is something I don't drink much, but once in a blue moon, I may try one. One may change my mind. My palates may have changed. And I'm curious, and I stay there in that moment a little bit longer, just to see if I'm really truly tasting something different than what I'm used to tasting in an IPA beer, right? So when we do this and do that to try to understand our craft even more, I think it allows us to appreciate the thing that we do every day. It may push us to try something, a different recipe, because of that experience that we've had with this particular extreme of that spectrum. Same thing with brisket. I don't eat brisket every day. A couple times a year. I mean, a lot of us eat chicken, pasta, ground meat, vegetables. So having that extreme in the food realm helps us probably appreciate the things that we do day to day. And I think that's why those things are really important when we think about it. Something that we don't do all the time, and when we experience it from time to time, it gives us that time or that opportunity to truly, really enjoy the thing that we do all the time. So think about it. Are you an espresso person? Cool. That's probably your day to day. You drinking a pour over is probably an extreme. But you trying to drink a pour over for a couple of days, and then you going back to your espresso, may give you a different type of understanding of that particular drink and that beverage and what you would like to do with it. It pushes us to find greatness in the thing that we do every day. As long as we venture out just a little bit from time to time, I think we're going to be in a place to where we're going to understand coffee even more so, or food even more so, even ourselves even more so. And when we do that, we're just going to be in a good place. So I know this one is a little bit different, a little bit off kiltered, but I think it gives us a understanding that when we try things to the extreme and come back to what we do normally, I think that's going to help us propel us forward in all the things that we try to do, and especially in this case in coffee. So let me know what you think about this. This is me, Oki, just talking, spitting game, I guess, or I don't know what I'm doing sometimes. But it's interesting when we talk about extremes, things we like, things we don't like. But when we put ourselves back into that situation, we may come back to liking it. But again, it gives us that chance, that opportunity to really love and focus on the things that we care about. So, this is me, Okie at Everyday Beans. Talk to you later. Bye.